The head of the U.S. Small Business Administration, Kelly Loeffler, has taken a major step against the state of Minnesota. On Tuesday, she announced that her agency has stopped $5.5 million in federal payments that were supposed to go to the state. Loeffler says the reason is simple: fraud. A lot of it. According to her, Minnesota has been hit by fraud scandals that could total up to $9 billion. These scandals involve money that was meant to help people and businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. In a letter sent to Governor Tim Walz, Loeffler said SBA investigators found at least $2.5 million in pandemic relief loans given to people who were later indicted in a large Somali fraud scheme. She also said the state handed out 13,600 pandemic loans worth about $430 million that are now considered suspicious. Federal prosecutors have said that most of the people charged in 3 major fraud cases in Minnesota are of Somali origin. This has made the issue even more sensitive and controversial. Loeffler did not hold back. On social media, she said Minnesota cannot be trusted to handle federal tax dollars. She described the level of possible fraud as staggering and accused state leaders of failing to act when warning signs appeared. She said that when lawmakers and whistleblowers raised concerns during the pandemic, the Walz administration resisted oversight, refused to take responsibility, and allowed the problem to grow worse over time. Governor Tim Walz strongly disagrees. Since last month, Walz has said that Minnesota's generous programs sometimes attract criminals. He has also accused critics of trying to demonize the Somali community, saying that most people are law-abiding and hardworking.
Donald Trump's calling our Somali neighbors garbage and the state of Minnesota a hellhole is, I'm assuming, is unprecedented for a United States president. We've got little children going to school today who their president called them garbage. This shouldn't be that difficult of trying to conflate. Look, we see it here. You commit crimes, you go to jail. Doesn't matter what your race is, what your ethnicity, religion. But demonizing the entire group of people by their race and their ethnicity, a very group of people who contribute to the vitality, economic, cultural of this state, is something I was hoping we'd never have to see. This is on top of all of the other vile comments. So let's be very clear. This should be easy to differentiate. You should very easily be able to say, we need to continue to work together. If there's crime, whether it's white, black, who cares, but to be able to condemn this. So I would just be very clear on this. Anyone in this state, especially elected officials, who are unable to condemn this vile attack on our neighbors in our state, you are complicit in it. And it will not stand in Minnesota. So I tell our Somali neighbors, I tell our Hmong neighbors, I tell all of our neighbors in Minnesota, you're respected, you're valued. We're proud of this state that ranks near the top in almost every single category. And I will tell you, the only thing that's hurting this state, as he so falsely claimed to a group of people, is Donald Trump himself.
On December 15, Walz released a statement listing steps his administration has taken to fight fraud. He said the state added more checks and balances, hired more investigators and auditors, and worked with law enforcement. Walz also appointed a new anti-fraud leader, Tim O'Malley, who is a former FBI agent. O'Malley's job is to track down fraud across the state government and protect taxpayer money. But Loeffler says these actions came too late. In her letter, she blamed what she called socialist-style policies, saying they pushed out welfare money without proper oversight. She said the SBA will not support that approach. As a result, the SBA has frozen funding for 6 programs in Minnesota, including small business development centers, microloan programs, women's business centers, and mentoring services, at least for now.
This is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy, when you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white. That's never happened once in my whole damn life. And I think everybody in this room knows what they're doing. So we're here today to say enough of this. We're here today to stand that Minnesota will protect their neighbors, to tell those folks who are out there who are too scared to send your children to school, who are too scared to visit a local business, who are too worried about maybe picking up extra food during the holidays at the food banks. We will do all we can to make those corridors safe for you, to make sure you're able to do what you need to do. We hear rumors, we hear suggestions of things, because that's how they operate, that there will be an increased presence. I would tell you, if I were a betting person, they will do it over these holiday seasons because it makes it especially cruel. It makes it especially mean-spirited. It makes it especially traumatizing for communities that wish to gather and to celebrate in their faith on these most important of the high holidays in all of our faiths. So I would fully expect, and we are preparing for, an influx of more agents, more of the very visible public theatrics of the raids, of the harassments, and you got faith leaders here. I would not put it past this administration to target midnight mass services amongst folks going to worship, because that's who they are.